Hey guys, it's Jason Wells recording your WOD for 3 June 2014, and I'm wearing this shirt that I have on right now for a specific reason. We actually got this at Success School last August, and it has a verse on the back, Nehemiah 6:3, and it says, I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down. And I just want you to keep that verse in mind as I go through this WOD and just describe an experience that my family and I had at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Obviously the place where the first powered flight took place with Orville and Wilbur Wright. There's some things that are just analogous to AdvoCare that I found fascinating and just really wanted to share and share with you and motivate you. We're all going through this daunting journey, and we're asking in our minds, is this really possible? Can we do this? Is this one of those things? People are telling us it's one of those things. We're getting a lot of no's. And the truth is we can, and we just have to remain committed to the vision and the purpose that we have set before us. And Orville and Wilbur Wright went through the same thing. They were told, hey, this isn't, man's never going to fly. This is impossible. But obviously they stayed true to what they believed in, and changed the course of history. One quote that Orville Wright had was, I got more thrill out of flying before I had ever been in the air at all, while lying in bed thinking how excited it would be to fly. So he clearly had a vision of what he wanted to do, and it drove him, and it motivated him, and it made it exciting. But he was the same one too that was almost let himself succumb to naysayers. Before they actually flew on 17 December 1903, they'd gone through several iterations of glider tests and different models of planes until they came upon the one that actually worked. And after one of those glider tests, a few years before they actually flew, on their way back to their home, Orville actually said to Wilbur, yeah, man's going to fly, but it's going to be in 1,000 years. So he definitely had his down moments, but he was able to keep pressing forward and reach his dream. Wilbur Wright was also quoted as saying, it's not necessary to look too far into the future. We see enough already to be certain it will be magnificent. Only let us hurry and open the roads. So obviously he also saw this dream. He and his brother were driven, but they knew they had work to do. They had to get in there and tinker and work and win. And I just want to stress the importance of those little wins that build up the momentum. The first flight was only, I think it was maybe 150 feet in like 12 seconds, and they flew 4 times that day on December 17th. And the longest flight was just shy of 900 feet and 59 seconds. So that's not a whole lot, but it was those little wins that really obviously developed that momentum and drove aviation into what it is today. It's the same thing in our AdvoCare business. It's those little wins that are going to keep us going, that are going to build our belief and just going to say, hey, this is possible. This is, I am doing something. I can achieve this if I don't give up. And I am making a difference in helping people's lives and making a difference in providing value in people's lives. Finally, 3 things Orville and Wilbur Wright identified. They said 3 major problems that they identified to achieve flight. 1, they needed lift, so they needed the aircraft to be able to take on the air particles streaming across the wing to keep it aloft. 2, they needed power, and this would provide enough propulsive force to provide forward motion, lift the heavy machine, and sustain that motion while in the air. And finally, they needed control. They needed to be able to control the climbs and descents and the turns left and right. And as this relates to our AdvoCare business, the lift is AdvoCare business. This is an opportunity to lift you up out of your present circumstances, to provide time freedom and to provide debt freedom. And the aircraft in the air particles, that's the situation in which it found itself, in the air. That's where it was supposed to be. And here we are in life, in AdvoCare, the situation that we find ourselves in. AdvoCare offers us an opportunity to lift ourselves up out of our present circumstances. 2, that power, well, that's our purpose. That's our drive. That's the propulsive force that's going to provide forward motion, and it's going to lift us and sustain that motion while in the air. It's going to drive us. With our purpose, any no's we see, as Stephen Whitwell said, are going to become like, minor speed bumps in the road. But if we don't have our purpose, and those no's become these huge roadblocks telling us it's not possible. So we really have to define our purpose to move us forward. And through that control, AdvoCare, is giving us that freedom to choose, to be able to live life on our terms, and to be able to, pursue that vision, and make a difference not only in our lives, but our children's lives and our future generations' lives. To take that purpose not only for our lives, but then also to define a bigger purpose, which is going to make a bigger difference in this country. Orville and Wilbur Wright faced a lot of challenges, and what they did, they didn't succumb to the no's. They kept pressing, and they changed the course of history. I think in the same way, we're facing a lot of challenges in our business, and we have to remain committed. If we're going to, this business has legs, and if you remain committed to it. And if the legs don't work, it also has wings. And I think that's a very appropriate quote based upon this WOD today, because if we keep moving, we keep pressing, we're going to be successful, and we're going to change our lives and make a difference in our families' lives and change our future generations. And that's what this is all about.